Hey! All right, everybody. Now, I was watching Macmaster. Is it the Macmaster? I think it's the Macmaster. And he did a challenge with Geoff Buys cars, and he drove his £120,000, I think it is, Porsche Taycan. I don't know if this is at 120,000 or has he got the bottom of the range one. I'm not sure. I think this is only two-wheel drive. Anyway, I'm waffling. So he tried to drive from Land's End to John O'Groats. Was it from John O'Groats to Land's End? I think it's the other way around, isn't it? And he had a nightmare. He had a right mare. And it's just every charger he went to wasn't charging properly or charging slow.
Pete says nah.
And it took him ages. They did it in two sections, which was a bit weird because I've seen people do it all in one day. So I don't know why they did it in two bits. Maybe they just wanted to have a bit of a easy time of it. But the Macmaster, you've probably seen him, or you might not have seen him, but his channel is mainly him going around testing food in restaurants and having a bit of a waffle. And then his sort of side hustle, I call it, is rubbishing his electric car that he bought. And he gets quite a lot of views from rubbishing his electric car. So even though he says his cars cost him a lot of money, he's made a lot of money too by rubbishing it. So, you know, fair play to him. He's probably made quite a lot of the money back by slagging off his electric car. And I think he genuinely doesn't like... Well, I say he genuinely doesn't like his car. I think he likes his car and doesn't like his car. If you know what I mean. I think he likes the way it drives. He likes the car itself. But he doesn't like all the sort of charging stuff that goes with it. Now, he drove back from... He was driving down and it seemed to be that every single charger he went to, he seemed, well, not every single one, but most of them, he seemed to be having a lot of trouble where he was putting it on charge and he was only getting like, it was supposed to be a fast charger and he was only charging slow. So he took ages to get down to the bottom of the UK, whereas Geoff in his diesel that he bought a couple of days before on Facebook, he got down there, I think it was, I'm going to say something like 6 hours before, something like that. Which is quite a massive difference, isn't it? That is a big difference. But saying that, I mean, look, nobody drives the whole length of the UK all the time. It's just a challenge, isn't it? Nobody does it just for, you know, nobody says, oh, I got a parcel to live from up there down to there, or I got to go from there to there because my granny lives up there and I live right under the bottom. It might be the case, but I doubt it. So it's just a challenge. But I was watching that, and after you watch stuff like that, YouTube recommends other videos, don't they? And it recommended watching R. Simmons, is it? Or RYEVs, I think it's called. And he took a Tesla Model S last year from the whole length of the UK, and I think his total charging time was something like, and it's something crazy, like his total charging time for the whole length of 800 odd miles or whatever it is was only 1 hour and 24 minutes, which is you know, that's a massive contrast compared to the Macmaster and his Porsche. And I was thinking, bloody hell, that is a huge difference. And he did it. He set off at about 5 a.m. in the morning. Well, I say he did. He actually set off at 5 a.m. in the morning. And I think he got down to Land's End at, I think it was about 8:25 in the evening. So he did it all in one day. And he only spent 1 hour and 24 minutes charging the whole distance, which is a massive difference to the Macmaster doing it in a Porsche. And I was wondering, is that the charging infrastructure or is it his Porsche? Because he plugged in, he did another video the day after when he was going home, and he plugged in next to a van, and the van was charging on a grid-surf charger, and the van was pulling 50 kilowatts, and his car was only pulling like 30-something kilowatts, which is a bit weird because the Porsche Taycan has got an 800 volt battery, and it's supposed to charge at super duper speeds. If you go on the Ionity, it's supposed to be something like 250 watts. Now, if it all worked out and he went to Ionity and he had them super duper charging speeds, it would have been fine. But for some reason, I don't know why, it just didn't work out for him. And I'm not saying he did it on purpose. I don't think he did it on purpose. I just think it didn't work out, and it does show that there is some sort of the charging infrastructure isn't quite good enough. Unless, now I'm going to say it, right? Don't boo me. Don't throw apples or tomatoes at me. It only works out if you buy a Tesla. Now, if you buy a Tesla, like the other guy did in the Model S, you get down there in one day and you only got to charge a short amount of time, and the charge always works. And the whole reason why I was making this video is, why can't the people who make EV chargers, make them work and reliable? How come Tesla can make theirs reliable, but these other charging stations seem to be either not delivering the full, oomph?
What's the matter with this?
Or you can't get a charge at all. What's going on? Now, if I was a charging company, an EV charging company, I'd ask Tesla, I'd say, can I buy your chargers to put there and put my branding on them? I think they're doing that in America. I think one company in America is doing that. And that's what I'd do. I'd buy, if I was an EV charger, if I was a director, I'd say, look, let's stop buying these other chargers. Let's ask Tesla if they can make chargers for us, because they're more reliable. So I don't know. But like I said, if you got a Tesla, if you buy a Tesla, they don't seem to have any problem charging across the country. They're flying back and forth all the time, easy peasy. But if you buy a different car, like a Volkswagen ID or a Porsche Taycan or something, you're probably going to have trouble. So it's not ideal, is it? I think it'll all sort itself out in the end. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. If Macmaster had done it in a Tesla, he would have been fine. He'll probably hate me for saying that. But there we go. Catch you in the next one.